When my husband handed me that beautiful necklace, sparkling under the kitchen light, I felt a wave of confusion wash over me. I smiled politely, but inside, my heart ached with doubt. How could I accept something so precious when everything felt so wrong between us? Hello and welcome. Before we start, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. If these real stories speak to you, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. And enjoy this story. Let's start. It was our 30th anniversary, a day that should have been filled with joy. But for months, Tom had been distant, coming home late with tired eyes and vague explanations. The necklace was exquisite, with a delicate silver chain and a pendant shaped like a heart, engraved with a date I didn't recognize. I thought it must be a mistake, or worse, meant for someone else. I couldn't bring myself to put it on. Instead, I set it back in the box and told him it was too much. His face fell, but he didn't push. That night, as rain pattered against the window, I lay awake, wondering what truth he was hiding. In the days that followed, I discovered things that broke my heart even more. But then, the real truth came out, and it changed everything. It wasn't what I feared. It was something deeper, something that reminded me why I loved him all these years. I remember the day Tom and I met like it was yesterday. It was a crisp autumn afternoon in our small town, the leaves turning gold and red under a clear blue sky. I was 20, working at the local library, stacking books on the shelves when he walked in. Tom was tall, with kind brown eyes and a shy smile. He asked for a book on gardening, saying he wanted to plant roses for his mother. We talked for hours that day, about flowers, family, and dreams. By the end of it, I knew he was special. We dated for 2 years before he proposed. It was simple, just us by the lake where we had our first picnic. He got down on one knee, holding a small ring his grandmother had given him. "Sarah," he said softly, "will you build a life with me?" I said yes without hesitation. Our wedding was modest, in the church down the street, with family and friends filling the pews. My dress was white lace, borrowed from my sister, and Tom looked so handsome in his suit. We danced to old songs under string lights in the backyard, laughing until our sides hurt. Our early years were full of happiness. We bought a little house on Maple Street, with a white picket fence and a garden out back. Tom worked as a mechanic at the garage, fixing cars with steady hands. I taught at the elementary school, shaping young minds with stories and lessons. Soon, our family grew. First came our daughter, Lily, with her curly hair and bright laugh. Then, 2 years later, our son, Ben, quiet and thoughtful like his father. Those days were busy, filled with diaper changes, school runs, and family dinners around the wooden table in our kitchen. Tom would come home smelling of oil, kiss me on the cheek, and play with the kids until bedtime. Life wasn't always easy. There were times when money was tight, like when the garage had slow months or when Lily needed braces. But we managed, always together. Tom was my rock, the one who held me when I cried over small things, who made me tea when I was tired. I loved watching him with the children, teaching Ben how to fix a bike or reading stories to Lily. Our home was warm, with photos on the walls showing our journey, vacations to the beach, holidays with grandparents, birthdays with cakes I baked myself. As the years passed, the kids grew up. Lily went off to college, studying art, her passion. Ben stayed closer, working at the same garage as his dad. Our house felt quieter, but Tom and I found new ways to connect. We'd take walks in the evenings, holding hands, talking about the future. Retirement dreams, maybe a trip to see the ocean again. I thought we were solid, unbreakable. But then, about a year ago, things started to change. Tom began staying late at work more often. He'd call to say a car needed extra time or a customer was picky. At first, I didn't think much of it. But then the phone calls came, ones he took in the other room, his voice low and serious. I'd ask who it was, and he'd say, "Just work stuff," with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. He seemed distracted, lost in thought during meals. Our conversations grew shorter, and the silence in the house felt heavier. I started to worry. Was he unhappy? Was there someone else? The thought twisted in my gut like a knot. I'd lie awake at night, listening to him breathe beside me, wondering if our love had faded. One day, I found a receipt in his pocket for a coffee shop I didn't know he visited. It was for 2 coffees. My mind raced with images of him laughing with another woman, sharing secrets he no longer shared with me. I didn't confront him then. I just folded the receipt and put it away, my heart heavy with sadness. The kids noticed too. Lily called from college, asking if everything was okay. "Dad seems tired," she said. Ben stopped by more often, helping around the house, but I could see the concern in his eyes. Our family dinners became tense, with unspoken questions hanging in the air. I tried to keep things normal, cooking Tom's favorite meals, roast chicken with potatoes, apple pie for dessert. But even as we ate, the distance grew. Then came my 50th birthday. The kids came home, and we had a small party in the backyard. Balloons tied to chairs, a cake with candles. Tom was there, smiling, but his eyes looked weary. After everyone left, he pulled me into the living room, the fire crackling in the fireplace. "I have something for you," he said, his voice soft. He handed me a small box, wrapped in blue paper. Inside was the necklace, beautiful and shining. The pendant caught the light, and for a moment, I was speechless. But then I saw the engraving, a date from 32 years ago, not our wedding day, not any day I remembered. My stomach dropped. "Who is this for? Why that date?" "I can't accept this," I whispered, closing the box. Tom's face crumpled, hurt flashing in his eyes. "Why not?" "It's for you, Sarah." I shook my head, tears welling up. "It's too much." "And that date, what does it mean?" He reached for my hand, but I pulled away. That night, as thunder rumbled outside, I sat alone in the kitchen, the box on the table, my mind filled with doubts. The next weeks were hard. I avoided Tom, sleeping on the couch some nights. The house felt cold, even with the heater on. I'd see him in the garden, tending the roses he planted years ago, his shoulders slumped. I wanted to talk, but fear held me back. What if my suspicions were true? What if our marriage was over? One evening, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Rain was falling steadily, tapping on the roof like fingers. Tom came home late again, his coat wet. I was waiting in the kitchen, the receipt in my hand. "We need to talk," I said calmly, though my heart pounded. He nodded, hanging his coat, his face pale. "What's going on, Tom?" "The late nights, the calls, this necklace with a strange date. Are you seeing someone else?" He sat down heavily, rubbing his face. "Sarah, no. It's not that." But his voice cracked, and I saw tears in his eyes. "Then what? Tell me the truth." He took a deep breath, looking at me with such sadness. "The date on the necklace, it's the day I found out about my sister." "Your sister?" Tom had never mentioned a sister. He was an only child, or so I thought. He explained, his words slow and painful. Years ago, before we met, his parents told him he had a sister given up for adoption. He never spoke of it, buried the pain. But last year, he decided to search for her. The late nights were meetings with a private investigator. The phone calls were with her, building a connection. The coffee receipt was from their first meeting. The necklace was a family heirloom from their mother who passed when Tom was young. His sister had kept it, and they engraved the date they reconnected. "I wanted to surprise you," he said, voice trembling. "Introduce her on our anniversary. Show you our family is growing." But I kept it secret, afraid it wouldn't work out. I felt a rush of emotions, relief, sadness, love. All those months of worry, and it was this. A beautiful secret, not a betrayal. Tears streamed down my face as I hugged him. "Why didn't you tell me?" I whispered. "I didn't want to hurt you if it fell apart," he replied, holding me tight. That night, we talked for hours, the rain softening outside. He shared stories of his childhood, the pain of not knowing. I shared my fears, how close I came to losing faith. We cried together, then laughed at the misunderstandings. The next day, Tom introduced me to his sister, Elena. She was kind, with eyes like Tom's. We sat in the living room, sunlight streaming in, sharing tea and memories. The necklace hung around my neck now, a symbol of new beginnings. Lily and Ben met her too, our family expanding in ways I never imagined. In the weeks that followed, things healed. Tom and I grew closer, communicating more. We took walks again, holding hands, the air fresh with spring. The house felt warm once more, filled with laughter. Looking back, I realize how easy it is to let doubts creep in. But love is about trust, even when it's hard. That necklace reminds me every day, family is precious and truths, when shared, can bring us together. Life teaches us to hold on, to forgive, to cherish the moments. And in the end, that's the greatest gift.